a Chinese employee of a multinational company in Noida near Delhi has been accused of tearing the Indian flag and then tossing it into a trash can. A case has now been registered by the police, who are at the spot and trying to get more details of the incident. But of course, the incident has created a huge outrage, with several people now protesting outside the office of this particular company. We have no details at the moment as to who this man is, why he did what he did. But the question really is, what kind of action is he now likely to face? For more on that, let's now go across to my colleague Geeta Mohan, who joins us on the phone line. Geeta, so many unanswered questions at this point. We need to know who this man is, what exactly was going on there, why he did what he did, what kind of action he's likely to face. And also significantly, Geeta, have we heard from the Chinese embassy yet about this incident?
Well, the Chinese embassy has not responded to my queries and questions. They themselves must be finding out details. This is a developing situation, and we also just got to know the news even as it is breaking and even as it is developing in Noida. It is outside a multinational company that protests were taking place, and this employee came out, picked up one of the flags that the protesters were holding, and tore that flag and put it in the bin, allegedly. We do not have details on whether it really it happened in the manner in which it is being reported on social media. So while that is the case, right now what we are given to understand is that the cops are on the ground trying to ascertain details. If he's found guilty, then these are serious charges. There could be very serious charges that he could be inviting, that could be leveled against him, given that this is a very serious offense that he has he's committed by tearing the Indian national flag. And what we are given to understand is that the fact that he's just a Chinese national and does not enjoy diplomatic immunity, it is going to be very difficult for him to explain as to why he did what he did. While we are saying that the option would be for the Chinese embassy to kick into the picture and really look into the matter and take up the matter, Neha, there is going to be one aspect, and that very important aspect is that if he's just a common man, a Chinese national, will he be booked and tried in India, or will there be an overnight deportation? We do not really know, because the offense certainly is serious, but as of now, it's only in the realm of the fact that it must have happened. There is no confirmation. The cops have not ascertained details. But if it did happen, then it is a very serious offense.
Serious offense indeed, though we're still waiting for more details to emerge, Geeta. And as you mentioned there, this seems to be becoming bigger by the minute, at least on the social media, with many people expressing their outrage, many even reaching out to the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, Yogi Adityanath, and asking him to act in this case. Geeta, thanks very much for joining us with those details. We'll come back to you later for more. On your screen, of course, are visuals of those huge crowds that now seem to have gathered outside the office of these Chinese firm in Noida, holding protests against this act of a desecration of the Indian national flag. All right, for a reaction to that, we're now joined on the phone line by Mr. N.N. Jha, former diplomat. Mr. Jha, we are still waiting for more details to emerge. We are not exactly sure what's happened, but initial reports seem to suggest that this Chinese man working for a Chinese company here in Noida desecrated the Indian flag by tearing it and throwing it into a dustbin. Now, if this man is an ordinary Chinese national, not a diplomat, then surely the question of diplomatic immunity doesn't arise. In such a situation, sir, what action do you think needs to be taken, and how do you think the government of India needs to deal with a case like this?
You see, here a slight bit of a political point also arises. If the government of India does not want to make too much of an issue of it, depends on their policy, then it will request the Chinese government, Chinese embassy here, to quickly get him out of this country. Number one. But the other thing is, I think the preferable thing which people in Uttar Pradesh and the rest of India would also prefer to watch, prefer to see, is this man, since he's not a diplomatic privilege officer, he should be arrested and tried. And as someone said, 12 months imprisonment in jail, will this is what would await him. So this is what we have. The government has to decide which of the slightly softer or harsher things they have to take.
That's an important point you're making, sir, because at the end of the day, really, it all boils down to the stand that the government of India chooses to take in this particular case, whether they want to be charitable towards this man and let him off with perhaps a deportation, or whether they would want to see strict action being taken against him. Sir, of course, it's also very important to see what kind of a reaction comes from the Chinese embassy, whether there is any sort of an apology or even regret expressed. But, sir, you're a former diplomat, so I need to ask you this. In a scenario like this, do you see the issue perhaps escalating into some sort of diplomatic incident between the two countries?
Well, I think both countries would prefer not to escalate it. This much I think I can say with a fair degree of certainty. But, you know, what worries me is that even if it's a solitary Chinese individual, I don't know if the other Chinese also working there, Chinese employers.
So as far as we know, this is a Chinese company. So perhaps there are many Chinese employees there, not just this one man. Going by preliminary details, sir.
Well, it means that this particular person represents what the other Chinese there perhaps feel, because that, you know, the arrogance about their entire foreign policy and about their entire country right now as the Middle Kingdom and all that, and nobody dare question whatever territorial and, you know, territorial expansionism is there up to whether it's in South China Sea or the Himalayas or anywhere. This attitude is responsible for this type of thing. And it's just, I'm surprised that only one person indulged in it. It could have been more than one Chinese.
Right, and that is another very important point you're making, sir. China is seen as being very aggressive, hegemonic in its designs, expansionist, really. And therefore, really, perhaps the question that will also be asked at this stage is, does this behavior, which is obviously condemnable, reflect the larger Chinese mindset as far as India is concerned? So thanks very much for talking to NewsX. Mr. Jha, thanks for your comments. I'm told we can now also go across to Major General G.D. Bakshi, who's on the phone line once again with us. So thanks for speaking to us. We are still waiting for more details to emerge. So at the moment, it looks like this Chinese national is an ordinary citizen of that country. He perhaps does not enjoy diplomatic immunity. Now, the question before us is, what kind of action can he face? This is, of course, a serious offense. But it all boils down, perhaps, sir, to the view that the government of India takes of this incident. Sir, can you hear me? Major General Bakshi,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sir, the question...
What I will say,
okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
That this is an unforgivable transgression. No national of any country has any business to desecrate the Indian national flag, that too on Indian territory. It attracts legal penalties, and I'm afraid this gentleman has no diplomatic immunity which could be invoked. The law of the land must take its course. We cannot allow the Indian national flag to be torn and thrown into a dustbin. That will just not stand.
Right, this is completely unacceptable behavior, sir, no doubt about that. Now, the question is, what action can he really face? Now, one of our experts, of course, has pointed out that he could actually go to jail for up to 12 months. But, sir, as Mr. N.N. Jha, who we were speaking to just a while ago, pointed out, it all really boils down to what stand the government of India takes. If they decide not to escalate the matter a great deal, then they may just prefer to deport him instead. What's your view on that, sir?
Well, I think that is a call that the government of India will have to take. But the very least, I think, in the instant case, because he does not have diplomatic immunity, I think the law of the land must be allowed to take its course. The Chinese have done it to our citizens. They have not shied away from that. Why should we shy away from letting the law of the land take its course?
And so China is anyway known to be a country that displays aggression all the time. and that is something that we have seen particularly towards India and Indian nationals. But really, we'll have to wait and see also whether the Chinese embassy reacts to this. So far, we've not heard from them at all, sir. Would you want to take a guess as to really whether we can expect the Chinese embassy to come out and issue some sort of an explanation, if not an apology?
I am not very certain if the Chinese embassy is going to give apologies for the actions of a Chinese individual citizen who is also the member of a multinational. He is not a government official. So I'm not very sure if they'll do that, but they will definitely have to comment on this. But that comment will be based upon the action that we take. And if we haven't registered an FIR, if we haven't taken any legal action, well, why should the Chinese be in any hurry to issue statements?
Right. All right. Major General Bakshi, we are given to understand that the police have registered a case. Now, what charges they've invoked against this man, apart from the obvious ones, we don't know, but we'll have to really wait and find out what action he is likely to eventually take. But thank you very much, sir, for talking to us. We're also now joined on the phone line by Commodore G.J. Singh, defense expert, for his views on this. Sir, thanks for speaking to NewsX. The details of this story are still sketchy, but if these allegations are true, well, then this is not just an outrageous incident, but also a serious offense. What kind of action, sir, do you think this man is likely to take? We are yet to hear from the Chinese embassy on this.
The matter should be taken by the government of India. Let me differentiate between, the ambassadors and the flag. You see, the ambassador in a country is himself.
All right, sir. Thanks very much for speaking to us. We apologize for the poor audio quality there. We'll try and go back to Commodore G.J. Singh a little later for his reaction. All right, an update now is coming in on this story. The Chinese firm for which this particular Chinese national works here in Noida has now reacted to this incident. They have actually said strict action will be taken if the allegations are proved against this man. All right, for more on that, let's now go across to my colleague Saurav Sanyal, who joins us with the very latest. Saurav, what more are we hearing? It will, of course, be very interesting to see if the Chinese embassy also reacts to this incident and issues some sort of a statement. But at the moment, we've got the first official reaction from this Chinese company. Go ahead and tell us what details do you have?
Neha, in fact, we've got the first official statement which has come in from this Chinese company which is operating out of Noida, where protests have now erupted. And just to quote from the statement, that it's a very, very brief statement that the Chinese company has issued, and they've gone on to say that we are investigating the situation and we will share an update once we verify all the facts. So clearly, pressure is building on the Chinese company. It's needless to say that we have seen now that the visuals playing out on our screens clearly telling us the real story, where people have gathered and people are protesting outside that particular office where the tricolor was insulted. What we now know is that this Chinese national, essentially, he ripped apart the national flag, the Indian national flag, and he went ahead and he dumped it in the dustbin, which is what enraged people all across, and that is what has led to this huge protest that we are now seeing, which is taking place presently, even as we speak, in front of the Chinese multinational company's office in Noida. So clearly, the temperature's on the rise for sure. We have also, Neha, gotten a reaction from Kiran Rijiju, Minister of State for Home, and he has also gone on record to say that though he's just come out of the parliament, but he definitely, though at the moment he doesn't have much information, but definitely...
That's right, Saurav. We'll keep coming back to you for the very latest on this. The junior Home Minister also reacting to this incident and saying that the government is watching the situation and they have now, in fact, sought details of this particular episode. All right, I'm told we can now go back to Commodore G.J. Singh, who joins us on the phone line for his reaction to this incident. Sir, if you can hear me, what is your take on this incident? Even though the details are sketchy, the question is What action can this man face? We are told he's an ordinary Chinese national, so perhaps there can be no argument made for diplomatic immunity in this case, sir. What a stand do you think the government of India is likely to take in such a situation?
You see, it's completely, insulting the country. It is India.
All right, that line really seems to be pretty bad. We're not having any luck with it at the moment. We will try and go back to Commodore Singh a little later, but reactions have started coming in, as you can see on your screens, going by those pictures of the huge crowds that have gathered now outside the office of this Chinese company. They're protesting this this terrible incident, and there are now reactions coming in. Let's listen in.
लाइन नंबर 4 सेकंड फ्लोर पे काम करता हूँ। सेकंड नंबर स्टेज पे हमारी लाइन के सामने इंडिया नेशनल फ्लैग लगा हुआ था, जिसको जाहू कहकर एक है ना कर्मचारी काम करता चाइनीज, उसने उखाड़ कर, हमें ये पता नहीं था कि वो डस्टबिन में डालेगा, उसने उखाड़ के ले गया। हमें ये पता नहीं था कि वो डस्टबिन में डालेगा, उसने डस्टबिन में ले जाकर डाल दिया, फाड़ कर डाल दिया था। ठीक है, जब हमें पता चला 5-7 मिनट में हमने वापस लाया और हमारी लाइन के सामने लगाया, और वापस शाम को मीटिंग की, उसमें हमने हमारे सीनियर जो भी है अमित जायसवाल, उनको अवगत कराया था। उन्होंने बोला कि हम है ना अपने सीनियर से बात करेंगे, लेकिन उसके खिलाफ में उन्होंने उस टाइम कोई भी कार्रवाई नहीं की। हम चाहते हैं कि उनके खिलाफ देशद्रोही का केस लगा के कार्रवाई की जाए। ये ओप्पो मोबाइल इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है, सेक्टर 63 ए ब्लॉक। पुलिस मौके पे पहुंची। हम चाहते हैं कि उनके खिलाफ है ना देशद्रोही का केस लगाया जाए और उन्हें यहाँ से निकाला जाए, इंडिया से बाहर। नहीं कर रही है, अभी कुछ नहीं कर रही है। वो यहाँ आकर भीड़ को तितर बितर करने की कोशिश कर रही है।
अभी कंपनी से भगा रही है और बच्चों की सैलरी भी खा रही है। नहीं, हम चाहते हैं कि कंपनियों को है ना चाइनीज कंपनी को भारत के नियमों के मुताबिक काम करे, ना कि वो अपने वहाँ के नियमों के हिसाब से काम करे। इंडिया में रहते हैं तो इंडिया की इंडिया की संस्कृति और रूल और रेगुलेशन को फॉलो करे। यहाँ पर है तो छुट्टी के लिए चाहते हैं कि वो भारतीय संस्कृति और रूल और रेगुलेशन का सम्मान करे, क्योंकि वो होली को सोमवार को भी एक छुट्टी दी थी।
All right, so some angry reactions there coming in. One man who claims to have witnessed this incident says this Chinese national, in fact, grabbed the Indian tricolor, tore it and tossed it into a dustbin. He says he saw this happening, and this is something that has made him and others around him very, very angry, and they are now demanding strict action against this man. They want not just the company to act against him, but police action as well. Those people there also saying the man needs to be thrown out of India. Really, what stand will the government of India now take also remains a big question at this stage. The Noida police, we're told, are at the spot because there are angry protesters there who seem to be swelling in numbers. We are waiting for more details of this particular case that has been registered by the Noida police. The matter, of course, is still under investigation. We don't know exactly what happened, what the provocation was, if any, but of course there can be absolutely no justification for such behavior, which is absolutely outrageous and unacceptable. All right, we're going to try our luck with the phone line to Commodore GJ Singh one more time, and I'm hoping that we can hear him this time round. Sir, if you can hear me clearly, if you could please go ahead and tell us what you make of this entire incident. How do you see the police and the government dealing with it?
First of all, I want to make it very clear that this is a very grievous offense. This is an offense which is unpardonable, because this gentleman, this fighting has been in the beginning of the Republic of India has been fighting, because the national represent the whole nation. So therefore, the government of India has to take it at the highest level with the government of Chinese to ensure that this person is
all right, continuing bad luck there with Commodore Singh's audio connection, but of course what we could gather from what he just said is that this is a grievous offense, something that cannot be ignored or taken lightly, and that this man deserves exemplary punishment. All right, we are getting now more reactions from people to this incident. Let's listen into some of those.
सेकंड नंबर स्टेज पे हमारी लाइन के सामने इंडिया नेशनल फ्लैग लगा हुआ था, जिसको जाहू कहकर एक है ना कर्मचारी काम करता चाइनीज, उसने उखाड़ कर, हमें ये पता नहीं था कि वो डस्टबिन में डालेगा, उसने उखाड़ के ले गया, हमें ये पता नहीं था कि वो डस्टबिन में डालेगा, उसने डस्टबिन में ले जाकर डाल दिया, फाड़ के डाल दिया था। ठीक है, जब हमें पता चला 5-7 मिनट में हमने वापस लाया और हमारी लाइन के सामने लगाया और वापस शाम को मीटिंग की, उसमें हमने हमारे सीनियर जो भी है अमित जायसवाल, उनको अवगत कराया, तो उन्होंने बोला कि हम है ना अपने सीनियर से बात करेंगे, लेकिन उसके खिलाफ में उन्होंने उस टाइम कोई भी कार्रवाई नहीं की। हम चाहते हैं कि उनके खिलाफ देशद्रोही का केस लगा के कार्रवाई की जाए। ये ओप्पो मोबाइल इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है, सेक्टर 63 ए ब्लॉक। पुलिस मौके पे पहुंची। हम चाहते हैं कि उनके खिलाफ है ना देशद्रोही का केस लगाया जाए और उन्हें यहाँ से निकाला जाए, इंडिया से बाहर। नहीं कर रही है, अभी कुछ नहीं कर रही है, वो यहाँ आकर भीड़ को तितर बितर करने की कोशिश कर रही है।
अभी कंपनी से भगा रही है और बच्चों की सैलरी भी खा रही है। नहीं, हम चाहते हैं कि कंपनियों को है ना चाइनीज कंपनी को भारत के नियमों के मुताबिक काम करे, ना कि वो अपने वहाँ के नियमों के हिसाब से काम करे। इंडिया में रहते हैं तो इंडिया की जहाँ इंडिया में रहे तो इंडिया की संस्कृति और रूल और रेगुलेशन को फॉलो करे। यहाँ पर है तो वो छुट्टी के लिए बता
चाहते हैं कि वो भारतीय संस्कृति और रूल और रेगुलेशन का सम्मान करे, क्योंकि वो होली को सोमवार को भी एक छुट्टी दी थी उन्होंने।
So angry reactions coming in there to this incident. This man saying he saw the Chinese national in question grab the Indian tricolor, tear it and toss it into a dustbin. What action will this man face now remains a big question. The Noida police are at the spot. They've registered a case. Investigations are underway. We're told Junior Home Minister Kiren Rijiju has also reacted briefly to this incident, saying the matter is under investigation. The government is going to look into the exact details of just what transpired. Let's now go back to my colleague Geeta Mohan, who's continuing to track this story closely for us. Geeta, we believe the police have registered a case. We're still waiting to find out more details of the exact charges that they've invoked, but any luck getting a word from the Chinese embassy on this?
Well, right now, no word from the Chinese embassy. In all probability, the Chinese embassy and the mission also must be trying to ascertain all the details and facts, Neha. But the fact is that this comes under the flag code and under the Emblems and Names Prevention of Improper Use Act of 1950. And if the said man, the Chinese employee of this MNC is guilty of what he's accused of having done, that is tearing up the Indian national flag, then he could land in a serious trouble. There are cops on the ground. They're looking into the matter. They're ascertaining all the facts. And if the facts come out as have been said by eyewitnesses on the ground, the protesters who've been protesting outside that multinational company, then there certainly is a lot of trouble that this Chinese employee could get into, given that it is a violation of India's flag code. Having said that, the Chinese embassy in all probability would be getting in touch with the authorities and with Ministry of External Affairs. The man does not enjoy diplomatic immunity or immunity of any sort, given that he's just a Chinese national working in a multinational company here in India, and could land in a lot of trouble if the allegations against him are proven right. We're also given to understand that the situation on the ground is quite tense, and the authorities over there have sent reinforcements to ensure that no untoward incident really takes place. But the matter could really get serious and could be really tense. Is the reason why the cops are ensuring no untoward incident takes place. This could really be really be taken up or could have diplomatic implications, given that we're talking about not a national of our own country but a foreign national having denigrated the Indian national flag.
Absolutely, Geeta. This will certainly have diplomatic implications. Stay with us. We'll come back to you in just a moment. You referred right now to the tense scenes that are being witnessed outside the office of this particular company here in Noida, and those pictures tell a story of their own. Huge crowds of angry protesters seem to have gathered there. The police also present in large numbers, trying to keep the crowds under control, trying to rein them in. Of course, an angry protester, in fact, said just a short while ago that the police were trying to disperse the protesters. A case has been registered. This is a clear violation of the National Flag Code, amongst other things. Let's listen in now to what exactly is happening there on the ground. Let's listen in for a moment before we go back to Geeta. My colleague Geeta Mohan, who is still with us and continues to track this story very closely. Geeta, as you mentioned there, really angry scenes outside the office of this particular company. Chants of Bharat Mata Ki Jai, people demanding strict action against this man. Now, Geeta, we've been talking to some former diplomats who seem to suggest that even though this is a serious offense and the man, since he is an ordinary Chinese national, could actually go to jail for up to 12 months, the action that he faces eventually will be determined by the stand that the government of India chooses to take, because, as you mentioned, this has diplomatic implications. This is not an Indian national, but a Chinese one.
Well, that's right. The man enjoys no immunity, so there is no cover or safeguard or safety net that the man has in the said offense that he might have committed. But if he has committed the said offense, which is denigrating the Indian national flag by tearing it up and in violation of the Indian National Flag Code, then yes, there are a lot of problems that that both the Chinese embassy and the Ministry of External Affairs will have to go through. A lot of pain that both the mission over here and the Ministry of External Affairs would have to go through in ensuring that there is no diplomatic standoff with this entire matter, while the Chinese embassy and the mission would try to ensure that at the most what the Indian government should be doing is ensure that the man leaves the country and there's an immediate deportation. But given the kind of situation that we see...
Right. All right, Geeta, thanks very much for that. We'll leave it at that. Time for us to take a quick break.